Good. How you doing, Scott?
Good, thanks. We've heard how great you look from Lucas Giolito. We've heard how great you look from Tony La Russa throwing the ball. How do you feel being back, with the team and going through drills, throwing off the mound, everything else?
Yeah, relieved. It's been a long time for me, obviously, and getting back out there and getting comfortable with the same group of guys, but a few new faces makes everything a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit easier. And I spent a lot of time working with my time off this year, so my arm's feeling as good as it has been in a long time.
Is there anything in particular you can talk about that you did during that time off, to stay focused and stay in shape, I guess?
I just kind of limited my distractions, really. I kind of did a mimic of my rehab ramp-up throwing program when I was going through Tommy John. I kind of tried to mimic that as much as I could. So I've been building up for a while, and my arm feels about where it should be right now. Ball's coming out easy, and I'm ready to continue and hopefully compete.
NBC Sports Chicago, Chuck Garfien.
Hey, Michael, good to see you. Was wondering how it feels, a year ago around this time, you pitch in a game, you pitch an inning, you're ready to go, and then here we are a year later. How did you manage yourself, your mind, your body during the last year without baseball?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that I've had nothing going on, but I think that the past year I've really got an opportunity to kind of sit back and look at things from the outside. And I've been around a lot of people that care about my career, but also care about me as a person. So, I've just spent a lot of time trying to better myself for my teammates when I got back, and for my own life moving forward. So taking that time away from baseball, I think was, it's kind of hard, but I think it was important for me. But now I'm back and I'm ready to compete, like I said.
The Athletic, James Fegan.
Michael, just how did you feel how has it been to be back in the clubhouse, and how's your teammates received you, and how do you feel like the organization kind of treated your decision and to be away last season?
Yeah, I think I've really been welcomed back with open arms. We got a lot of good guys in this clubhouse, and we have a lot of really talented guys. So the fact that they're excited to see me just as excited as I am to see them, it means a lot, because, this is a team that could clearly win without me, but I want to be a part of a winning team. And, as long as they want me to be a part of it, that's exciting for me. And as far as the team goes, they respected my decision. They allowed me to, spend some time getting better on myself. And then since I've been back, they've been nothing but helpful with me getting ready for the season. So everything's been great.
WBEZ, Cheryl Ray Stout.
Hi, Michael. Nice to see you.
You too. How are you?
Good. Michael, when you were out last year, were you watching what the White Sox were doing? And do you have any regrets that you weren't there when they're going for the playoffs?
Yeah, of course. I probably didn't watch as much as I would like to have, to be honest. I was taking some time away from baseball, and it felt like it was much needed for me. But I know that the team was doing well, and I was watching a lot of my friends out there competing their butts off and really getting after it and trying to prepare themselves for a playoff season, and watching them, break into the playoffs. Of course, I wanted to be there for that. I wanted to be a part of this competing team. But moving forward, all I can do is hope that I can help them compete this year for, more substantial win.
Chicago Tribune, Paul Sullivan.
Hey, Michael. We never heard from you at all. So was there any one reason why you opted out, or was it mostly COVID, personal, or, do you care to elaborate on what you were thinking and when you decided not to come back?
There were multiple reasons, COVID being one of the reasons, with having some health issues in my family. But there were a lot of personal reasons as well. I think that I've been pretty candid in the past about my mental health being important, and prioritizing that so I can be the best version of myself on the field. And that's a lot of what it came down to as well.
NBC Sports Chicago, Ryan McGuffey.
What's going on, Michael? Good to see you. Just what did you learn most about yourself in the time away from the game? And then what did you miss most about the game during that time away?
Yeah, I think I learned that I need this game a lot more than I realized. It's a lot easier said than done to take a step away from something you've done for your entire life. And it sounds like an exaggeration, but no, it's been my entire life. So taking a step back from that and realizing how big of a piece it is to this entire puzzle for me is kind of just put it all in perspective, and it's made me kind of regain the motivation to get back out there, along with some other things that have happened in my life. So really, I think I've found that motivation that I may have lost. Not that I ever completely lost it, because I never want to be known as a guy that hasn't worked really hard for everything that he's had to earn. But I think that with this time away, that I've really got a chance to come back and prove to myself, at least, that this is what I want to do.
From the Chicago Tribune, Lamont Pope.
Hey, Michael. When we had the chance to talk to Rick Hahn the other day, he mentioned that they're going to have a little conversation with you as far as sort of your game plan and your role. Just what was that conversation like, and just what do you want to have and sort of strive for as far as your role this season?
Yeah, I don't know if I can speak to exactly what it's going to be right now, but we talked about the flexibility of maybe being in a different role than I've kind of anticipated in the past. So maybe not coming in and being part of the rotation right away, but maybe as a reliever or something along those lines. Not really sure exactly what that entails yet, but as far as what it means for me is I'm gonna pitch the best that I can every time I take the mound, so nothing really changes in that regard. But just want to help the team win in some way, and if that's in the bullpen or if that's starting, I'm gonna do it either way.
Vinny Duber.
Michael, you talked about maybe finding that motivation again. What is the next step? What is the what are you now motivated to do, to show to your team and to the fans, and what are you motivated to contribute to this team?
I think I'm more so motivation for my personal career. I never lost motivation to win for this team, and I don't think this team as a whole has had any problem finding that motivation to want to win. And I think with us coming all together right now and seeing all the talent up close and in the early stages of spring, everybody's anticipating that we're going to win. I don't think there's any question in the clubhouse anymore, and that's a lot of fun to be around as a player and a teammate. I just meant more so along motivations to actually complete my goals and to support my family and my life personally. And every single guy in that clubhouse has that same motivation. So, yeah, that's really all on that.
James Fegan.
Michael, in stepping away last season and kind of stepping away from, speaking publicly, there's a lot of, room that people filled with speculation on why you left. Did you pay attention to that, or did you make a conscious effort to try to block out, anybody kind of talking about the reasons you didn't play?
No. I think I've learned throughout my career that people are going to say and think and write whatever they want, and they can continue to do so. But it doesn't define who I am, and who I am is, the best I can for my teammates, my family, my friends.
Chicago Sun-Times, Daryl Van Schouwen.
Michael, would you say that you were eager to get going and to be here in Arizona and get back to baseball? Would you describe it as a sense of just eager anticipation? And where are you right now in terms of how you feel about things, how you feel about life, how you feel about just being back in the White Sox uniform?
Yeah, I think eager is probably a good word. Every spring I probably have to kind of tone myself down a little bit because I come in a little hyped up, and I'm sure a lot of players can relate to that. In the first few days of spring, you feel like, you want to go out there and you want to prove to everybody that you're still good or whatever it is, But yeah, getting my first bullpen and being able to kind of let loose a little bit, I felt pretty comfortable out there, and I feel like I'm in a good position where I should be to go into the season. So I'm excited about baseball. I'm excited about things that are happening in my personal life, and I'm excited about, like I said, being able to help this team win. So yeah, to answer your question, as a whole, I'm doing well, Daryl. Appreciate it.
Ryan McGuffey.
There's been a little bit of reference to that one inning you had against the Cubs in spring training last year. Even Lucas the other day, and talking about you, talked about, I think he used the word electric and seeing that one inning. What, going back to that appearance you made last spring, did you learn anything about yourself in terms, because at that point you didn't, you were still coming back from Tommy John. It had been a while since you'd been on a big league mound. Can you take any of that experience and bring it into 2021?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of what that outing was for me was kind of just that reassured confidence to myself that, hey, I still kind of have this. And not being able to compete regularly for a while, it kind of makes it hard to hold on to that confidence. You have to prove to yourself every day through your work that you're actually getting better. And so not having a batter in the box has kind of made it difficult to get that live feedback from myself, but getting back here in spring and kind of being around everybody and feeling like a competitive athlete again, that's exciting for me. So I think what I took most away from it is just, like I said, that reassured confidence, and hopefully I can take that into my starts or into my outings this spring.
Last few questions for Michael Kopech, James Fegan.
Michael, Tony's made a couple references about your new child and how that always, fatherhood brings along maturity for anybody. Does that kind of help clarify your focus with baseball, or when you talk about needing the game and having motivation, does that play into it?
Absolutely. That's kind of what I mean without having to, go too far into it, but it kind of helps put things in perspective. I've, just like any young person does, I've lived a life that's pretty selfish for the past, 6-7 years, whatever my minor league career has been. But, now I have a life that I have to look after that's a lot more important than being selfish. So my career doesn't just dictate my future anymore, but it dictates my son's. And that's kind of all the motivation I need.
Cheryl.
Congratulations, Michael, on being a dad. What was the moment when you put on your uniform, when you went on the mound, that you said, I'm back?
I still don't know if I've gotten that feeling yet. I felt it a little bit last spring, like Ryan was talking about earlier, but right now, until I really get a chance to compete with seeing somebody swing at my pitches and hopefully miss, then I don't think I really get that experience. But I'm looking forward to it when it comes.
And last question, Mike Maiden. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Just fine. What's different for you from this year versus last year and the year before?
I think I have a different mental perspective on the game than I've had in the past. In the past, I've put a lot of unnecessary pressures and anxieties on myself. And I think for one of the first times in my career, I'm comfortable enough with what I'm doing to where my only focus is internal. It's within the game itself. It's within competing. It's throwing strikes. It's working on my mechanics. It's doing all the little things right. And not that I didn't focus on those things before, but maybe they were affected by external factors and just, trying to maybe worry about the wrong things. I just think I'm a little more focused right now than I have been in the past. And, cutting out distractions has been a big part of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing where that focus leads me in my career.